what it needs.
What's up?
Got your nigga in the car. God damn, that felt so contrived today. I feel like the energy wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't there. But you know, it is what it is.
It was a tough week.
Yeah, it was a really tough week. I'm still trying to recover.
Tough weekend.
Traveled for work, so I'm just like
exciting.
I'm exhausted. It was really dope, but I'm exhausted. I just realized.
Where'd you go?
I went to Botswana. It was harder than Satan's ass crack. It was just ridiculous, but it was amazing. I had a good time. It was a very calm city. Well, Gaborone is like really calm. Barely any traffic. There is traffic, but it's not like the one we experienced. So it was dope. I'm just exhausted.
I'm exhausted. Like the weeks to come are just gonna drain the fuck out of me, but they're exciting. Also traveling for work. Yes. Off to Washington, then gonna do a few days in New York.
Dope.
But I have to go get my visa in Swaziland. Apparently in Swaziland they release it in one day.
Oh, dope.
So you apply on the Wednesday, you get it on the Thursday, and then you're cool. But this week's episode.
Yeah. In light of
yesterday. Yesterday was the 2th of November.
Yes, the 2th.
And we won the World Cup. Yeah. It feels very weird to speak about a South African event and say we. Yeah.
Because the patriotism is jumping out and I don't relate. Yeah,
I never have that.
I don't know, unless we're talking about Casta, Semenya, and even then I'm supporting Casta, not we.
So it was very interesting to see, and I feel like the last time we won the World Cup was 2007.
Yes, I remember that.
I was in grade 7.
I was in grade 8.
So the excitement is just like kiddies' excitement. But it was very refreshing seeing what was happening yesterday, and it actually made me think, which is like why we have this topic today, but essentially made me think about how we show up for others and how that enables them to be great. Because even when we were chatting about this before we started, I was just thinking along the lines of like watching Kipchoge do the marathon less than 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
that was amazing.
How all those pacemakers were such an integral part. Integral part. English. It's called. But it was such an important part of helping him achieve his goal.
That was fantastic.
How they showed up for him.
Yeah.
In that way to set the perfect conditions.
Yeah.
And it just made me think about how like even with Kolisi, it's like so many young black boys got the opportunity to go to multiracial schools on sports bursaries. So the opportunity is there. Yeah. It's not as accessible as it should be, but opportunity has been there for a while, like since 94 and even before, because even people like my dad got the opportunity to go to multiracial schools through being financed by white couples and all of that. So opportunity has always been there, but it's like the support structure, a holistic support structure hasn't existed, and that's why so few people are able to take full advantage of the opportunities that they get.
And also I've been thinking about how we along the lines of support and how we show up for others. Sometimes I feel like it has to be for a lot of people to show up. Sometimes it feels like it has to be a personal story to them as well, something they've internalized as well. And I don't know if I necessarily dig that. I don't know, like I guess we're humans and we want to feel like
want something to resonate.
Yes, want something to resonate with us. But then part of me then wonders for just like the normal everyday person.
I think that the problem is with what you're saying, from what I'm hearing, in terms of how I'm internalizing what you're saying. I think the problem is also the fact that we view support as we mix up the two, like support and charity.
Yes.
And I feel like those two things are very different. Actually, and how we approach them should be very different. So that's why it's very difficult for certain people to divorce their own personal stories from what they're doing, because they don't have a clear understanding of how much is this support, how much is this like charity.
Because I know with Sia, it was a lot of like, I also went to a multiracial school. I played rugby and that's it. And then I think about, you know, like Caster Semenya, and it's like how many people
can relate to her
story. Yeah, which is what explains why in the beginning she was on the receiving end of so much vitriol from us. And I mean, I guess I don't even know when things changed, but sort of changed. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I get you. So it's like that the danger of a single or similar story,
yes,
affecting how we view and contribute to other people's lives.
100%, yeah.
Because for me, it was literally a matter of just looking at, like, let's say the Kolisi story. Most people know that he had great support from his best friend, who he named his son after, and the best friend's family.
Yeah.
So having that structure enabled him to take full advantage of all the opportunities that he was given. Whereas you might find others don't necessarily get the same support because they're not lucky enough to form the kind of relationship that enables them to do that.
Yeah.
But I think it should be a consideration when people are being put in these situations that how are we going to support them holistically so they can make the best out of this and not become another stat. Because that's what happens to so many people in sports.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to so many people in entertainment or people who could have done great things in this world.
Yeah.
So for me, I felt this episode would be really dope in terms of us doing our own personal reflections on, like, yeah, we know how we want to be supported.
Yeah.
But like,
are we getting that?
How are we getting
also,
it?
Yeah.
And actually, let's start there. A, are we getting it? B, how do we show up for others?
Yeah.
And how do we think that we could improve, or how do we think that those who show up for us could
and
improve?
also, what do we think of support culture in the age of social media?
Yeah, that's a fraud. But anyway, so in terms of are we getting support, I feel like this year made me realize that I am one of the most supported people that I know.
Yeah.
Like, people have got my back.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I wasn't able to take advantage of that because I wasn't in the position to receive it as well. I think we touched on this a bit in the last episode, but I wasn't in the position to receive it and to maximize and take advantage of all the support that I was getting and all the opportunities that I was getting.
Yeah.
Because this year was the first time where I was like, oh my God, like, everything everyone has ever said to me about myself was not a lie.
Yeah.
And I think I needed to get to that point. So sometimes we need to be honest and not be like, so-and-so is sleeping on me, or people are sleeping on me.
You guys, PSA, you guys love doing that.
Maybe sometimes no one is sleeping on us. People are supporting us, but we're not in the right space.
Yes,
so
we're not in the right space to receive it. We're not in the right space, and perhaps we want sort of grander. We want grander displays of support. You know, as humans, sometimes you want that thing. I think it's a matter of, you want grander displays of that support, you know, where you can see it and it's tangible. Whereas for a lot of people, it's not as tangible as they would like.
That's interesting because it touches on the fact that I think we also receive support in different ways.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, it's also important that we're able to identify what support is in somebody else's efforts.
Yeah.
Like, and not just group it with what we've been conditioned to accept as support.
Yeah.
So it's like, traditionally, if a friend's parent passes away, or there's a funeral at their place, or a wedding, you're expected to go and peel.
Yeah.
But like, our lives are very different in terms of how much time we have to give and how much time we have and all of that. So it's like, you would obviously show up in a very different way.
Yeah.
But I think we also need to be cognizant of the fact that people show up.
People show up, exactly. And I was thinking actually of a situation that I had been through. I was showing someone else support, and they're going through something I just have no concept of. Like, I can't relate at all. But and that obviously stuck out to me, and you know, I wouldn't say it's a tough situation, but it's sort of a tough situation. It's also a transition into something new. And I was in the beginning, before they went to this thing, I was battling in terms of like, how do I show up for them? Like, what do I do? And I really came to the conclusion that the best thing I can do is provide normalcy during this tough situation.
Yes.
And I think that is
That is a very important thing.
I realized that this year, actually, that the best thing we can do for some people, for our friends, depending on the situation, is to just provide a completely normal situation for them, you know, where they don't have to face
this thing
all the time. Sometimes they get to have a sense of, this is my everyday life. This is fine, you know, and that's been one of the ways that I've been trying to sort of show up, depending on the situation, of course, where it's just normal stuff. We talk about the normal stuff we talk about all the time. You know, no special talks, none of that, and no like, yeah, everything is gonna be okay. Nah, just to provide a sense of everydayness. I think sometimes we want, when we're thrown into a unique situation, everything is kind of thrown off. Your routine is thrown off. Your whole life is thrown off, really. And so sometimes you really need somebody to just bring back. Yeah, just be normal. Yeah,
I think that's an interesting and refreshing like approach and perspective. It makes the most sense. It's probably something I've been doing for a long time. But my thing is like, the one thing I struggle with is, how do we support people to help them achieve what they want to achieve? Because it's very easy to support when it comes to loss, or when it comes to like grief, or a change that comes with pain. Yeah. But like, supporting someone to achieve, to move forward,
to elevate them. Yeah.
I never know. Like I never.
So one thing I had learned this year, thanks to Andre Damani, check out his EP In and Out of Time. It's not a sponsored post. I had learned from him that, let's say you have a friend who has music out, like on a platform, Spotify, Apple Music, you know, one of them. I just never thought about it. Like, if you have another device, you can just sort of play their album on mute and just let it play and play.
We did that for a rat once. So actually, yeah, that's valid.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's valid.
Yeah, so things like that, even
small
with videos,
things, yes.
Even with podcasts, even with whatever sort of medium that counts on, that, you know, relies on sort of plays or views or whatever. Maybe you can do that. That elevates them, even if it's just like 5 of them. It's something, you know. So those are sort of like the practical ways we can. One of the practical ways.
It's so difficult for me because for the longest time, and I think we also touched on this in that changes episode. For the longest time, I've been the kind of person who, the things I enjoy a lot. Yeah. I struggle. I don't speak about. Yes, like I won't rave about something that I like. Yeah. But when I dislike something,
I know how to
to
articulate
express that discomfort.
Yeah.
So it's like, even with supporting friends, like if it's like music, but it feels so fake when I'm all of a sudden like being extremely positive about something.
Especially in the age of social media and sort of promos.
Yes. So you don't want it to get lost and like...
Yeah. Because then people would be like, oh, this is so inorganic. I don't know anymore. Now what, you know? But really, I think it's just a matter of being like, yo, not even putting out disclaimers, because that's just going to switch people. It's going to switch people off even more. I think it's just a matter of being like, yo, man, I have to do this because I want to, obviously, and as long as I'm putting the word out there, it's something. You know what I mean? If it were me in that type of position, even just seeing you post a link, I'd be like, yo, thank you. You know.
So for me, it also just sucks in terms of how it's very difficult to support people with your chest because we don't have money, and we also don't have the luxury of time. Yes, like I think if you look at other systems and structures that have existed before, or if you look at something as simple as like the relationships our grandparents have with their friends, you can see that they're all surviving on like the gift of presence and time. Yes,
and it's such a sort of scarce resource in this capitalist time.
For us, like I don't have. If something were to happen now, it would be so difficult to get time to just go spend time with the person. Yeah, and it's also like I can't substitute that time or that absence of time with money. I can't even send you money. Yeah. There's so little that I can do, and it defeats you. Because I was even thinking of there's that article by Milisutando Bongela where she speaks about, and it goes back to the support thing we're talking about. She speaks about the concept of ukukapa.
Yes.
So ukukapa is accompanying someone.
Yes. Yeah.
So just for the sake of doing that,
Yeah.
I'm just going with you for the sake of going with you.
Yeah.
Whether
it's for groceries.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
whatever,
whether we're just sitting, whether we're going to Home Affairs, the post office, and it's something that happens so frequently in African cultures, right? But I was like, when last did I kappa someone?
Actually,
I think the last time I kappaed someone was when I kappaed you to go get Gussy's cake.
Yes,
and
I remember.
Like earlier this year or last year.
It was earlier this year.
So it's like I haven't gone somewhere
about
with
that.
someone for the sake of going somewhere with someone. And I don't think we have that luxury anymore as well, because it's like there's always something attached to the reason why we're doing something.
Yeah.
And for most of us, or for me personally, it's fear. Mm-hmm. Like I spend a lot of time with other people because of the fear of what being on my own can cause. Yeah. And that is wild.
Damn. Yeah, no, actually for me, wow.
I haven't covered someone in ages.
Yeah.
And that's also actually support.
Yeah.
Just like being there.
Yeah. I mean, I speak for myself, but that for me is like something I'd be like, yo, thank you so much for me. But yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time I covered someone. Yo, wow,
it's been a while, bro.
It's been a minute, and I was gonna say that it's difficult to also be present physically, even in other ways actually, when you are also going through your own things.
Yes, how do you show up for others when you are going through a lot? I think the most important thing is to not do it at the expense of your own Mgowo, because we tend to do that a lot, and it actually makes them Mgowo more, and it can actually lead to the point where you resent people because you feel like I was there for you and I was going through all of this and you're not seeing what I'm going through. Yes, but the thing is, you're performing like you're not going through anything, so it's difficult for people to be there for you too. So it's
also those of us on the receiving end of that support from that person who's going through a lot, there needs to be an element of understanding as well. And I think that's something a lot of us battle with because we're humans, of course. And so, in an instance where maybe someone wants you to go with them somewhere, or to go watch them somewhere, or to do something, attend something of theirs. And sometimes, when you're like, yo, I really can't make it, I'm going through a thing, that can also breed resentment from the person who wants you to show up for them. And part of me then now is thinking about how can we, I already think we should be understanding, but at the same time it's like, scenarios are different. You just never know what's happening. How do we go through things? How do we allow our friends to go through things and also be okay with them not showing up
for us? Yeah.
Because, but I think also just acknowledging that it kind of hurts. Maybe that, like, shit, oh, damn, like, I really would have loved for you to be there. Without it being a guilt trip, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know, like, there needs to be a way.
The other issue that I'm, like, coming to learn this year is that we're so non-verbal in how we do things that when we are verbal, it makes things extremely awkward.
Yeah.
Because we're not used to using words.
Yeah. And even in that, in being non-verbal, sometimes you'll be like, it's okay, but then your non-verbal cues are saying something else.
Okay.
Are saying it's not okay. And so how do we then reconcile feeling disappointment about this person not coming, but also being okay with the fact that this person cannot come because they are not okay? Like how do we?
That's a difficult one.
I think at the heart of it is,
at the heart of it for me is the value of intent.
Yeah.
I think at the heart of it, it's always giving your friend the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
And knowing that my friend would never deliberately try to hurt me. Yes, it's okay. I'm feeling those feelings. I'm disappointed. I'm sad. But I know that there's no way that this person would not show up if they could. If they could.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what's most important.
You're actually right. You're actually right. Yeah. I think we need to we need to give our friends if you then that makes me think that if you're not giving your friend the benefit of the doubt, you might need to reconsider that relationship. Actually, because for me, I think that would be the case with a lot of my friends. I'd be like, yeah, no, this person would do it for me any day.
Like what should be top of mind is I know that when this person is okay, they show up.
But also,
if there's a pattern of someone not showing up, then it goes back into that conversation about support culture on social media, where it's very easy for people to gas you up, and then when it comes to the ticket sales or dololo and
the retweets, I see y'all.
And it's also it's important not to guilt people into supporting things.
Yeah, that's another thing I've noticed a lot, when it comes to, that's why I wanted us to talk about support culture in the age of social media. There's really a lot of guilting. I mean, look at movie promos. Yes. Jesus Christ, in South Africa. Wow. Y'all are doing a lot.
No marketing whatsoever. Imagine trying to use guilt in a country that's as shaky as ours when it comes to morals. Do you think South Africans feel guilt?
No, not.
You're just gonna
an iota of guilt. Like you're just gonna exactly that, and that's what people aren't learning, because every time that happens, people are pissed off, and it's like, why aren't directors or producers, I don't know who is the person that does that.
Is it like producers? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know why you're not learning. Like, what are they teaching you at film school? I mean, even if you didn't go, but your resources that you're reading from, what are they teaching you guys? It just doesn't make sense to guilt people into supporting you. Like,
so for me, the social media dynamic, there's one, the guilt, two, the performance.
Yeah.
And I think those are the top two problems for me, the guilt and the performance. Like the performance, guys, people want to seem like they do so much good for others in this world.
Listen.
That those that speak the most do the least. But it's interesting also because at the same time, you're like, maybe by virtue of those speaking more than they do, there will always be some doers inspired to do by the speaking.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we don't always know that someone is a fraud and they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And certain people are inspired to do because those people were speaking.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you're not losing. But at the same time, I can imagine it's extremely disappointing when you see so much talk around something that involves you, but then like the amount of input doesn't match the talk.
Yeah. Yeah, also people when you do win and then they make it about themselves.
Yeah, actually, the narcissism. Point three. I've seen so much of that where it's like, I've been supporting you from the beginning. I'm so happy that you achieved. And it's weird.
I mean, sure, great, thank you, but it's weird from the outside looking in. I don't know
what the dynamics are.
Yes, but also just like it looks weird to me looking in. I don't know what it would be like when it happens to me, because I've never had any friend of mine being like, yes, I've supported you.
Like I was praying from you from.
I was doing this. I'd be posting screenshots and stuff.
Of conversations you had with people. But for me, it's interesting because it's like, okay, cool. If you're saying, oh my gosh, this is when the journey began.
Yeah.
And this is how much you've achieved and this is how far you've gone. I'm so proud of you. Cool. But when you sound like you're centering yourself, it's very weird.
It's a strange thing as people, from people who give support. It's like we need to maybe relook that and how... Yeah, let's relook that and how we make it about ourselves. Ultimately, at the heart of it, that win is about them. The moment you're not like, yeah, my views. But if you're doing it jovially, like, I guess it's whatever.
I don't know. I always feel weird. Never do that to me. If I win anything, if I do anything great, don't be out here like, oh my God, babes, like I was... No, I'm not saying I achieved it on my own. Sometimes let it come from the person themselves that, oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for all your support.
I just realized, I just had a thought. What do you think about people who get help and support from others?
But don't help and support others.
No. And then when it's time to, when they achieve that thing, they're like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah. That one is a very interesting one because
It's an
I'm like,
interesting one.
please just thank everyone.
Yeah,
Like, if you're gonna
maybe
thank
be
anyone, thank everyone.
thank you, God. Thank you, God, for these people for imparting
Yes,
the spirit of
yes.
support
Just
in
let
their
it be
hearts.
clear.
Yeah, stuff like that. Say it
Let
like
it be
that.
clear.
Yeah, because I've seen a bit of that where people are like, "Oh my God, thank God," and everyone's like, "How?" But
I thought you were gonna actually bring up something I find also very interesting because
Uh-huh.
I know we've had this dynamic as friends, where a friend that is normally, and I saw a very weird tweet where this lady was like, all the people that used to support me when I was down and out are now like upset that I'm doing well. And I was like, that's interesting because I've had an experience where a friend that wasn't doing well was supported a lot by all of their friends.
Yeah.
And as soon as they started doing well, they couldn't extend that to other people.
that support back. Yeah.
So it was like, is that the narrative that they're now spreading, that like their friends that they were friends with at the time couldn't cope with their success?
Yeah.
And that's why they're not friends anymore? Because people are weird in that way, right?
Yeah,
Because when
and-
you're
and-
used to being on the receiving end, it also does, it is also very damaging.
Yeah, all
like
spoiled.
when there's a bumblebee. Yes, there's a bumblebee. Nature is alive and well.
Yes.
Global warming, zero. Bumblebee one today. It's making a lot of
It's
noise.
making a lot of noise. Okay, it's
Um,
calm now.
But yeah, so it was just like, is that the narrative that people are spreading?
Yeah.
Like, because that post was very weird. Why would people invest so much in you? I understand that whole thing of control
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that is a dynamic. But considering the perspective that I have based on the experience that I had, I was like, interesting. I wonder if that's the narrative.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really strange thing, actually. I'm trying to think if I've ever been in that type of situation. I mean, I've been in that situation that you're talking about the friend receiving support when it's time for them to extend it.
They can't.
They can't, and I don't think it's this bumblebee is really out here. Don't you wanna just flick it a little bit?
No, they're like so few in the world. Do those things sting?
They do.
Yeah,
Very
those-
hard. Don't kill it. Just like move it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Cool.
great. So, and for me, it wasn't necessarily an issue of. I think for me, it was the way I had read it was that it was more a judgment on their character
Yes.
than it was on the amount of support that they
we needed.
received.
Yeah.
And thus it being damaging, which is true. It does happen. But I thought more than anything, it was just a judge on their character. And at the end of the day, or at the crux of it all, is that
Sorry.
we're supposed to keep our phones silent.
I actually had it on loud because you guys were coming.
Oh
through.
yeah, no, I understand,
Yeah.
girl. Yeah, like I think at the crux of it all, it's about our characters.
I think that it always goes back to your character with
Yeah.
every single thing, because we can always have access to all of the information and we can have all of the conversations.
Yeah.
But if we don't go back and apply whatever we speak about or whatever we see,
Yeah,
it becomes difficult.
it is true.
So because if we can't even extend what has been extended to us onto others,
Yeah.
then it clearly shows that
I mean, some of you read the good book, and it says, "Do unto others as you would like for yourself," or something like that.
something similar.
So why aren't you listening?
I don't know.
I don't understand, guys.
don't know.
Also, I just remembered. I love that. I love that genre of tweets where it's like, what is it? Pregnancy will show you what fall pregnant, and you'll see who
Who
really
your real friends are. No ways.
guys.
Your friends have
guys.
okay, cool. It would be nice for your friends to support you, but your friends definitely did not get you pregnant.
Exactly. So
Don't be out
I'm
here.
mostly,
like they shouldn't make your life a living hell
Yeah.
while you're pregnant.
Yeah, I'm mostly hoping that it's just like a like troll tweets. Like
Yeah, I hope so.
mostly.
I
Deep
hope
down
so.
inside,
I
I'm
hope
really
so.
just hoping for that. Because if that's what you guys are going through, then
Okay, just to round up,
yeah.
two questions. I don't know my numbers. What are you grateful for in terms of how you've received support, and what do you want to improve in terms of how you give others support?
So what I'm grateful for in terms of the support that I've gotten, it's just that I've gotten it. and I just realized I didn't answer that question in the beginning. is that for so long, it's not that I didn't feel that I wasn't supported. You know it in the back of your head.
Yes,
you know it. For me, it was just a matter of me.
Like what?
Y'all supporting me?
Worthy?
Like what? Oh
What are
my
y'all
God. Yeah, that has always been my thing. And I think over the past maybe couple of years, it really dawned on me that, oh, so I'm worthy. Like I deserve to receive the support. So I'm really just, as basic as it sounds, I'm really just grateful that I actually receive it and that I now see it. And how do I think I can improve? Oh Lord, I think I can be more loud and proud. I want to show up more. But yeah, my thing is, you were talking about the fear of being alone. For me, it's the fear of being around people. I think I want to be more loud and proud about it. Although I've been trying, but I want to do a little bit more on that end, and I'd like to be more present, because presence is really something that I value so much. I really, really value presence and time a lot. And I think I can improve greatly on that. I'm tired. I'm like going through my own things, but sometimes it's just, maybe I just need to not get over it, but I just need to be like, you know what, this is gonna fill my cup, because I think that's what supporting your friends should do.
Yes.
It shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be like an obligation. Although I do feel obligated to support my friends, because those my niggas, or to support people who who I see as worthy. To support black women, all that stuff, But I need to I want to look at supporting people more as filling my cup, and I want to experience that feeling when doing so. And I want to operate from that point of view, that the more I support these people, the more it's filling my cup. And not even in a it's about me type of thing.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is about you.
Yeah.
It is about you. True. It always goes back to us.
That's true, yeah. So yeah, I'm that's what I want to do.
Cool. So for me, I feel that I was thinking about it earlier this week, and I was like, I've actually been supported. The one thing I'm most grateful for is the kindness.
Yeah.
The people that have supported me and the people that have been there for me, even in times when I wasn't seeing it, or in times when I didn't feel worthy, it was always with kindness.
Yeah.
That there was no frustrations that were expressed in violent ways, because I feel that can make us even feel less worthy, or it can make it feel like, oh, now I'm like a charity case.
Yeah.
So it was with so much kindness, and that's what I appreciate a lot, and that's what I'm extremely grateful for. And I think I can show up more for people in terms of presence is a big thing.
Yeah.
But also in terms of letting go of my fear of material things. Like, a lot of my friends have probably noticed I don't like buying people gifts, because I always have this fear of, is this going to be good enough? Like it's a very irrational fear, and I need to let go of it, and I need to be more expressive in how I show up, because I've always just leaned on presence and time, and I'm learning that I have less and less of that as I get older. So I need to be comfortable in being more sentimental by expressing myself through other things that can exist even when I'm not there. So that's my thing. I need to extend myself in other ways.
And also just like, thank you guys for supporting us.
Yes, really appreciative of
part
that.
of me is like, you're supporting us because we're us, but also it's a matter of you guys actually enjoy our content,
it's just
and
like,
that's
what
really
actually, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, what do y'all see in us? But
no, we said self-depreciation is cancelled, and actually, how have you been doing with that? I was thinking about that the other day.
I'm getting there. I mean, this trip for work is one of the things that are making me sit and be like, oh my God, dude, no more doubt. So yeah, I'm getting there.
For me, I'm also getting there. Every now and then I slip up, but even when I do slip up, it feels so uncomfortable being self-depreciating.
Yes, it actually does feel uncomfortable.
Oh man,
it really
I
does.
feel so
it
terrible
really
when I do that.
It's a symptom of the change.
Yes, exactly. Like, I feel so uncomfortable. I'm just like, oh, why did I say that? So part of me is like, okay, we're getting there. If I'm feeling uncomfortable, there is some progress. But yes, thank you guys so much for giving your time. I was looking at the stats the other day, and I was like, you guys are listening. You guys are listening.
Even if it was just 5 people, I would be like, oh my
I'd
god.
I'd also
but
still
it's
be
more than 5.
Yeah,
so
it's a whole lot more than 5.
You guys aren't alone. You're not weird for liking this. If you want to be weird for liking this, you're weird for liking this. You can continue to be that. We're accepting you as you.
We're weird too, so don't worry.
Thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel about support. And how you can improve the way you support your friends, and how you receive it. You have supported us in the greatest of ways. So you're doing that right. Yes. Just so you know. My puppy is like so gorgeous. Yeah. We'll post pictures on our page. Yeah. Anyway, thanks guys. Bye.